Good morning and welcome. My name is Claudia Flisi, and I'm a member of the board at the Unitarian Universalist Church here in Reston, this very church. Whether you're on Zoom or here in the church sanctuary, we're glad that you're with us this morning. No matter how old or young you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, however you identify and whomever you love, know that you're welcome here. This is a community of all ages, and it's a valuable and unique gift. Know that your sounds and movements are welcome here during this worship service and every Sunday, but maybe not your cell phones, so please turn them off. You're welcome to this place, whether you're attending the service in person or online. So those of us who are here in the sanctuary, let's say hi to our fellow members who are waving to us from home. Ciao. Reverend Eileen is off today. She deserves a break every so often, and it's my honor to welcome back Reverend Charlotte Lehmann. During the past decade, Reverend Charlotte has served as a religious educator or minister at UU congregations in Massachusetts, Florida, and here in Virginia. Reverend Lehmann also trained as an earth scientist and managed geochemical laboratories and conducted research on global climate change during a previous career, but maybe you integrate that also with what you're doing. Welcome back, Reverend Charlotte. Of course, as usual, there are several announcements before we get going, and these are in more or less in order of occurrence. First, stick around after the service today for Science Sunday, because today is Science Sunday. And today, Ann Barlow, who is co-founder of KV265, will be talking to us about symphony and science. There's no orchestra, there's just Ann Barlow. KV265 is a nonprofit organization whose mission is the communication of science through art to communities worldwide. So whether you're a liberal arts person or a science techie person, she will have something to say to you because there's not an immutable division between the two, so please come and hear about it. Second, mark your calendars. Films on Friday returns June 5th, that's next Friday, at 8 p.m. with Streaker. No, it's not what you think. It's a German soccer film, and it's well-timed because the World Cup begins in the U.S. and also elsewhere in the Western Hemisphere later in June. So it couldn't be more timely. If you don't know enough about soccer, please come and see the movie and learn a little bit more about it. Third, if you have a subject you're passionate about and you'd like to share it with a congregation, maybe you have something about your spiritual journey, about something you've encountered, about a challenge you've surmounted. Or do you want to know what it takes to put together a Sunday service? Maybe you don't want to know that, but if you do, Reverend Eileen will be hosting lay leader training for those who might be interested in leading a service. And this training will take place Saturday, June 13th. That's in 2 weeks, less than 13 days, from 10 to 12 a.m. That will take place in the boardroom and here in the sanctuary. So anyone who is interested, please come, and if you can, please let Reverend Eileen know. She's not here, but her email, which is revaileen@uureston.org, that is revaileen@uureston.org. Please let her know so we can plan to have snackies and a few refreshments that will be adequate for the people who attend. I've attended it, and it's really good. It's helpful, even if you don't plan to speak before the congregation, but just to know how the pieces are put together. It's a very good session, so try to join us. Then fourth, join us also for our annual UUCR picnic potluck on June 14th. That is the day after the lay leader training. It's a Sunday, it's Flag Day. It's also the birthday of the President of the United States, but whatever. And our picnic will follow the service immediately. And as we close another wonderful church year, we're celebrating this year with a potluck rather than a formal cookout. So please bring a favorite dish from your family, whether it's a side dish you favor, a hearty main dish, something to grill, or maybe a dessert, because desserts are always welcome. Volunteers are needed to help with setup and cleanup, and you can sign up for these or get more information in the e-blast. There was a notice about it on Thursday, and there will be one next Thursday as well. So please come, because the more the merrier, and the food is always terrific. And then finally, and this is not in order of occurrence, but this is an ongoing thing, our families here at UU want our children and our teens to learn from members and friends of the congregation. So please consider joining these children or teens one Sunday a month or a few times a year if you can between September and June next year. You can find out more at the table in the East Foyer. There are sign-up sheets, and there is a religious education committee member who will be there to answer questions if you have them. I've done it. I've been an owl, I think a tree, and a frog. I loved being the frog. So it's great training for theatrical ability and also for psychological interest. And you also learn a lot about yourself as well as about the children in the congregation. So it's a wonderful experience, even if you can only do it a few times a year. But if you can commit more, of course, you'll get more out of it. So please try to consider doing that as well if you have the time. Now, finish those. Let's center ourselves for worship. Please take a moment to silence or turn off your electronic devices if you haven't already done so. And please take some deep, quieting breaths with me. Now, let's enter our time of worship together as we enjoy this morning's prelude.
Good morning. Our prelude this morning is Joy in the Morning by Adam Pod. It's from our new virtual UU hymnal, so it's not in your hymn books, but we've sung it before, so hopefully you will remember the tune. If not, you will catch on very quickly. And the words are on the back of your order of service. So please rise and body your spirit and join us. We'll find joy in the morning, joy in the morning, joy in the morning.
My opening words are really more of a preface to this service than anything else. I think those of us who are being subjected to the news around us these days are aware that the subject matter that I will be addressing today, which is my experience in Minneapolis in January, is actually here, all around us, too, with the detention center protests and so forth up in Maryland, and the activities of ICE here in Northern Virginia. And I know that you are actively involved in looking at the issues and addressing those issues, informing yourselves, educating yourselves. And so the service, though it's experiences that were 5 months ago now for me, are relevant and timely still for all of us. I would also like to note, if you haven't already, that there are personal experiences in the most recent copy of the UU World, which was mailed a month or so ago, but also online. The UU World Online has more experiences of people who attended the same days that I was in Minneapolis. And I recently received from the Union of Concerned Scientists their spring 2026 issue, which has a firsthand account of fear and hope in Minneapolis by Sarah Goodspeed, who is their climate accountability outreach manager. And so it crosses all aspects of our lives, and everything is interrelated and interdependent, as we know. So that's what I have for opening. I would just ask, before we do the chalice lighting, that we take a moment to, again, breathing as we already did, but to settle ourselves into this space of worship, which will have joy as well as sorrow mixed together, because that's the way life is. Please join me. And now I'll invite Laura to come forward to share our chalice lighting words.
Thank you, Reverend Charlotte. Good morning, all. The flaming chalice has become a symbol of our faith. It originated in Europe during wartime as a symbol to refugees escaping fascism, that our denomination's service committee volunteers could provide safe passage to any who sought it. That same endeavor also helped to organize exploited migrating workers in Texas during the very same decade. We continue to light the chalice to show the way towards greater justice of all kinds, including climate justice throughout the world. Because, as Adrienne Rich wrote more than 3 decades ago, because in times like these, to have you listen at all, it's necessary to talk about the trees. So, we light this chalice because in times like these, we must carry the flame of justice to all who will hear and see. Thank you.
Please now rise and body your spirit for our opening hymn, number 1014, Answering the Call of Love. It's also in the teal hymnal if the screen is not accessible to you. Please join me in saying the words of this congregation's covenant. Love is the spirit of this church.
Now is the time in our service when we share our joys and concerns so that no one ever has to hold them alone. If you are joining us remotely today, you may wish to light a real or virtual candle wherever you are this morning to mark what is on your heart as members of the in-person congregation place stones in the water here in the sanctuary. If those of you at home would like to share what is on your heart today in the congregational chat on the screen, please write to all attendees, and please remember that what you share will be public. Those at home may then read others' joys and concerns shared in the chat, and then enter into your own time of reflection and prayer as we all listen to Giulio Leone play our meditation music.
Let us be one in prayer and meditation and hold all of what has been deposited in the bowl of water with these stones together. Spirit of life and love that so faithfully animates our creation, we are grateful for this community that is with us in both times of joy and sorrow. We hold in our hearts this morning all who are facing any hardship or difficulty, those who are grieving or facing illness or injury in themselves or friends or loved ones, members of the wider community. In particular, this morning, we hold in our hearts and prayers those who are facing discrimination, deportation, violence of any kind, whether it's here or in the wider world, including those who are being impacted by sickness and not getting the health care that they need. For them, we have lit the larger candle. Amen. Blessed be. Namaste.
As you know, we're a self-funded church, and we rely on the generosity of you, our members, and our friends, to fund our daily operations and to ensure that the church and its resources are here for us and others now and in the future. Your pledges support our worship and music programs, our religious education program, programs for members, programs for friends, community outreach, and connections to Unitarian Universalism. We're now inviting you to support the work of UU Reston by making your donation to the collection plate, if you're here in the sanctuary, or at the link on the slide, which I hope will appear, and in the chat box. Thank you for your generosity and for your support of our beloved spiritual home.
Voices, 100, 1,000.
Assistant. I want to take a moment and say thank you to Tatiana, who filled in during joys and sorrows. I misread the script, but thank you for your beautiful music. Today's reading is from the January 16th, 2026 Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association, UUMA, email to its members. Something for justice, a call to Minneapolis, a national invitation for clergy and faith leaders. Minneapolis finds itself at the center of a crisis that has been long in the making. This is a crisis of our democracy and our morals, being manifested right now through racialized state violence, immigration raids, kidnappings, and the killing of Renee Good. Clergy and faith leaders of all traditions are called to come to Minneapolis on Thursday, January 22nd, for a day of witness, resistance, and action, to testify that this struggle is for a new America, a new beloved community, and a new democracy everywhere in the world. The organizing body is March, Multi-Faith, Anti-Racism, Change, and Healing, a pro-queer, multiracial collective of clergy and faith leaders organizing across traditions on Dakota land in the Twin Cities. On Friday, January 23rd, we will join ICE out of Mnisóta, a day of truth and freedom organized by a broad set of organizers that will include action for faith leaders. In another email from UUMA, the following information was offered to its membership. Join us in prayer and action as clergy prepare to gather in Minneapolis this week in response to March's call for a day of witness, resistance, and action. Many who are unable to attend in person have inquired how they might offer their support. For those wishing to join their prayers with others, the Minnesota-based community organizing group Isaiah, through the Faith in Action Network, invites you to join a national prayer call in support of Minnesotans on the morning of January 23rd. Join this time of prayer and community.
Why I went to Minneapolis. When I opened up the email from the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association on January 16th, I immediately felt at a very deep level that I was being called to show up. I imagined that this is what it must have been like for faith leaders and others to feel and answer the call to go to Selma, Alabama, a little over 6 decades ago. My thoughts turned to our Unitarian Universalist martyrs, Viola Liuzzo and the Reverend James Reeb, who responded to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s call for people of faith to show up in Selma after Bloody Sunday on the 7th of March, 1965. And I would add the recent call to Selma after the vote by the Supreme Court taking away voting rights. There was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to do my part. I grew up in Minneapolis. The chaos and violence of immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, CBP, are impacting people I know and love by causing harm in places where I have called home all of my life. The first thing that I did was to text 2 of my siblings to see if either of them could provide me with a place to stay in St. Paul. I heard pretty quickly from my sister that she could open her home to me. After I spoke with my partner about my plans and receiving her complete approval and support of my call, I booked my travel. I registered for the March event. Then I attended the Know Before You Go webinar a couple of days later. One of the things they urged us all to do was to write up a letter for our loved ones about why we were going to Minneapolis. The reality of risk was lifted up frequently. I understood their urging us to write about our decision to answer the call as a multifaceted task, one that would help us to self-reflect and clarify our motivations, including in the case of any untoward turn of events. There would be documentation in our own words, should they be needed. We were also advised to bring our passport or a photocopy thereof, as well as to make sure that loved ones knew where to find the same if something occurred requiring proof of identity. All of this was easy enough to articulate in my thought processes. It was and has been much harder to get it down on paper or into a computer file. It was a gut reaction. And while I am not a person who leans heavily on biblical scripture, it is straight out of the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here I am, send me." It was a no-brainer. All about my heart. When love calls us on, we answer and loudly proclaim the side we are on. I needed to embody what I had been saying out loud for so long. I needed to take risks to the extent that I felt I could at this time in my life. I will invite you to remain seated while we hear and take in and maybe join along in the chorus lines of Pete Seeger's version of "Which Side Are You On?" The words are actually on the back of your order of service. What I learned and experienced there. My experiences began as soon as I arrived in the airport. People were being told that it would be a 60 to 90-minute wait for a vehicle to be assigned to them, even with a registration. I asked the agent who checked me in what was causing the delay. He literally said, "This is Mnisóta." And then he explained that employees were not showing up for work, so all the car rental agencies were short-staffed. My sister later told me that it was because ICE was at the airport. The comment, "This is Mnisóta," was just one of the double entendre that have come into being as ICE surged and descended on the Twin Cities during what turned into one of the colder January weeks ever in my lifetime. That evening at my sister's, we ate our dinner while watching an indivisible town hall with a political candidate for one of the state's federal offices. It included questions about the crises in and around the Twin Cities. Wednesday was a day of rest for me, but I did go to a congregational dinner at Unity Church UU in St. Paul. In addition to seeing beloved colleagues who had also traveled from out of state, I saw a high school friend, the sister of one of my classmates. Being embraced by this and other UU communities during our time in town was a blessing. On that January 22nd, Thursday morning, the day-long multi-faith anti-racism change and healing march program began early. In particular, I was looking forward to connecting with a lifelong friend who'd lived next door to me in the neighborhood I grew up in. She serves as the cantor at a Reformed Jewish congregation in Brooklyn, New York. That happened during the breakfast hour. Programming began in the Westminster Presbyterian Church sanctuary with song, "We Will Get There Together," followed by a timely poem by Junauda Juanita Petrus. Then Mohican tribal leader Jim Bear Jenkins grounded us in the indigenous history of where we had come together. These are ancestral lands of the Dakota people. Bedote, or Medote, the confluence of the Minnesota and Mississippi rivers, the Mnisóta Wakpa, the Mississippi, respectively, is considered the birthplace of creation, the center of the earth. Within this tradition, it has spiritual significance to the Dakota. That place is near the airport. It is very near where the Bishop Henry Whipple Federal Detention Center is. My sister has been serving as an immigration court observer out there. This is where the first Catholic church was established in Minnesota. It is also the site of historic Fort Snelling, where, in the midst of the American Civil War, the fort served as a concentration camp for Dakota women and children during the Dakota Uprising of 1862-63. We learned from event organizers that they had pulled everything together in just 1 week. In Minnesota, the number of ICE agents was 5 times that who were in Chicago. They are abducting Native Americans. There is community destruction resulting from this invasion. Because neighbors are turning out to observe and be with each other, they are building shared understanding, even though the difficulty is not erased. Children are afraid. Together, we lend each other our courage. I'll come back to these ideas when I share how what is happening in Minneapolis matters to all of us. What is happening in Minneapolis and many other places. I had opted in for the action requiring a ticket when I checked in at 8 o'clock in the morning. In the meantime, the organizers were constantly assessing the risks and adjusting to keep everyone as safe as possible. One of those adjustments was that the buses would not be going to the Whipple building. Instead, we went to the Powderhorn Park neighborhood in South Minneapolis, where Renee Good had been murdered. We went to be observers for a short period of time, to walk around with a buddy and be calm, friendly, polite, neighborly presences. The person who I walked with lives in that neighborhood, as does their sibling, one of our UUA staff. We didn't encounter any disturbances, but my buddy did check their phone and noted that just a mile away, someone had been arrested during the time we were out walking. Between the bus trip and an afternoon workshop offering was lunch back at the downtown church. I attended the media and storytelling option presented by the Executive Director of States at the Core, SATC. which exists to defend, build community, and dismantle and weaken authoritarianism. They've worked with organizers in each of the cities where ICE has been throwing its weight around. Firsthand, SATC knows the context we're dealing with, how we got here, and the other story being told by Miller, Bavino, Noam, and others. We learned the 5 elements of effective storytelling. Prepare ahead of time. Know how to introduce yourself. Be ready to share what you're compelled, why you're compelled to speak out. Know your audience. Be you. We were shown how to stick to talking points and messaging frames, as well as practical tips to use. Then on Thursday evening, I went to the First Universalist Church in Minneapolis for a community dinner before returning to my sister's house. I ate there on Friday evening too, which was followed by a very healing prayer service. From my sister's living room, I tuned into Friday morning's online national prayer call for Mnisóta. It was attended by nearly 1,000 clergy, and a total of over 2,500 people were on the call. Then I went downtown to the Target store on Nicollet Mall on Friday for a singing action by Voices at Noon, faith leaders in the store's atrium. During this collective witness, I noticed that the security guard who was tasked with telling us that we couldn't gather there and then had to stand her ground since we weren't easily dissuaded from singing, looked really, really upset and uncomfortable while we were singing. Was it something to do with her conscience? I must say that I have especially appreciated the inclusion of singing as a form of nonviolent resistance. For a long time, it has been clear to me that I'm much more inclined to sing than to yell or shout at protests and demonstrations. I'm not at all enamored of the increasing use of expletives by either the masses or the people who hold the strings of power and the purse. When we finished singing inside the Target store atrium, we regathered for a short time outside on the street to sing a couple more songs. Then we dispersed and went to find the people marching from the initial gathering site to the Target arena. I was able to go inside the arena and wait for the rally. It still hadn't started when I decided I needed to head on over to the First Universalist Church dinner and prayer service. I'm so glad I went to that and experienced its healing. I had no idea what lay ahead in the days to come, only that the same brutality would be turned on more places that my heart calls home, such as was already happening in the state of Maine. Sadly, it came even sooner and closer than that. On Saturday morning, while still at my sister's house, before I headed to the airport to go home to Virginia, another peaceful observer was murdered by ICE. Alex Pretty was providing care and support to his neighbors. The part of town where he was killed was a place where my sister had formerly lived and where my family would often go to eat at a traditional German restaurant, the Black Forest Inn. My sister needed to watch the live feed and commentary as the news of this violence hit the media. That's not something I would normally have chosen to do. We're going to sing again. This song by Joshua Blaine, We Get There Together, is one of the songs that has become part and parcel of singing resistance actions around the country. I learned it there in Minneapolis, first thing that Thursday morning. I'm going to lead you, and I invite you to rise and embody your spirit. Listen to me sing it through one time, then join in. We'll sing it through several times. I'll let you know when I'm going to wrap it up. And at any point, feel free to harmonize, because that's what we need in this world. Cynthia, does it make sense for me to do it from here? Thank you. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together or we never get there at all. We get there together or we never get there at all. We get there together or we never get there at all. So join me as you become comfortable. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together or we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. Let's do it one more time. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. Let's repeat that. We get there together, we never get there at all. We get there together, we never get there at all. Thank you. How this matters to all of us. Over and over, we were reminded to follow the lead of those most impacted. During the lead up to the rally at the arena, one of the organizers from ICE out of Mnisóta shared that she had been in Europe recently, attending a forum with organizers from 60 different organizations, or was it 60 countries? I'm not clear on this. And when she asked them what she could or should take back, they told her that all of their eyes are on Mnisóta. They are waiting to take the lead from us Minnesotans on how to navigate this new iteration of fascism. There is slow work and fast work. We have to do both. The danger is not that we are losing a perfect democracy. We are moving from contested space to real power, according to Becca Tilson of the National Coalition of Freedom Trainers. According to Tilson, we have to create collective power. We have to feel our feelings, but not get stuck there. By de-escalating our conflicts with each other, we can build broad coalitions. Non-cooperation, refusing to follow commands, and protesting requires our courage. Inside people will be needed, but this is not an inside game of reform. We have to be more creative, more direct than ever before. We have to keep growing the resistance movement, keep adapting and expanding our tactics as the tactics of the opposite side shift. We must continue to be resilient in the face of oppression, utilizing mass non-compliance that is non-violent and elicit loyalty shifts. Jim Baird Jenkins shared with us that while there is epigenetic trauma, the result of colonial imperialism, epigenetic resilience is equally real. We must honor the trauma and then rise to the resilience. This last is a lesson that became very real for me as I returned to Virginia. It became clear to me that I was feeling emotionally traumatized by the 5 days I spent in my hometown, my home state. Recognizing this and talking about it were crucial to my healing. Additionally, I was able to witness the Buddhist monks on their walk for peace when they passed through Prince William and Fairfax counties of Virginia. I met up with 2 college classmates in Alexandria, and we went together to welcome the monks and pay our respects for their mission and vision of a world better than the one so many of us are experiencing today. Our closing hymn is filled with loving kindness. It's number 1031 in the Teal hymnals, and the words will also be on the screen as well as on the back of your order of service. We will sing it through 3 times, I, you, and we. Please rise in body or spirit. Seated. My benediction is in the form of a poem that rattled around in my head before I could get things onto paper. And I want to thank the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Bozeman, Montana, to which I have been asked to serve as contract to call minister starting in August. Their search committee asked me to talk about my experiences in Minneapolis, and so they were the push, the poke that I needed to get things down on paper. I am grateful to them. It's entitled Mnisóta Nice. This is Mnisóta, Mnisóta Makhóche, where the water reflects the sky. We have our way of doing and being that is different from other places. We are raised to be Mnisóta nice, to not raise a fuss about every little thing. Let it go along to get along. But now, this is Mnisóta means that not all is right with the world, our world. Mnisóta nice is still how we act. However, it is a form of resistance. We look out for and care for our neighbors. We witness, we help, we blow whistles, we sing our solidarity with each other. I grew up near what was called Lake Calhoun by colonizing European peoples, after John Caldwell Calhoun, a pro-slavery white Southerner, an adherent of Southern Unitarianism, not to be admired. Its Dakota name has been returned to it. Say its name, Bede Makaska. On Bede Makaska, some still go ice fishing on the White Earth Lake's frozen surface, while others put Mexican flags on their cars, dangling themselves as bait. ICE, ice fishing, as a form of solidarity. Ice out marks the transition from winter to spring. The frozen surface becomes less and less safe. We demand ice out of Mnisóta, even during the very coldest days of our Minnesota winter. We want Mnisóta to again be a land of clear water that reflects the sky, the Clearwater confluence, center of the universe, and start of all life. Badote. Aho, Matakwiasan. We are all related.
Today's chalice extinguishing comes from a Mighty Girl Facebook page, post, which was accessed on February 15, 2026. Dr. King's words ring across the decades. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. The architects of progress have never been the ones who hated most. They have been the ones who loved most, who saw a stranger and recognized a brother, a sister, a neighbor, who felt chains they did not wear, who understood in their bones that none of us are free until all of us are free. Unitarian Universalists, James Reeb and Viola Liuzzo, saw hatred blazing across their television screens. They witnessed the suffering. They heard the pleas for help. They answered the only way that has ever changed anything. They answered with love. May we all find, this is so beautiful. May we all find the courage to love that freely, and even as we extinguish it, may we carry the light of our chalice, which symbolizes that fierce and radical love, always in our hearts, ready to answer its call and for justice and peace.
Let's sing together as our postlude, We Shall Not Be Moved. Please rise in body or spirit, and the words will be up here. Voices raised together.
Voices raised together, we shall not be moved. Voices raised together, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
We shall not.
We shall not. We shall not be moved. We shall not. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Young and old together.
Young and old together, we shall not be moved. Young and old together, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Fighting for our freedom.
Fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved. Fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
When our burden's heavy.
When our burden's heavy, we shall not be moved. When our
shall not